A letter to my ex. I love you, but I really hate you sometimes. I've been cycling through emotions lately because our breakup led to me completely shutting down. I felt nothing until I felt sadness, and then I felt anger. Now it's all mixing together in an overwhelming mess, especially with your recent breakups with your other partners. The one who I mourned our relationship over, who you suddenly realized you weren't into, and the one I'm best friends with, who you told that you were never poly because fuck. Because if you were never poly, then you never really loved me. Then again, have you ever really loved anyone? I tried to correct the realization of you not loving me with the fact that I love myself. It's probably a lie, but fake it till you make it right. It's hard to accept that someone I loved more than anyone could give zero fuck about me. It hurts that I was the disposable to you, and I did nothing but love you and respect you and care for you with every ounce of my existence, and you just left. Remember when you promised that we could get through anything, and had me promise you the same? Whenever we were unsteady, you would ask me that. The same thing you asked your last partner right before they left you. Babe, we can get through anything, right? And it sounded so sweet and so fucking real, but you were just scared. You were only ever sweet when you thought we were leaving you. And fuck it, I wish I had left you. I wish I would have told you all of the things that led to my decision to leave, because when we talked, we agreed it was mutual. And I never told you my story. You never asked. All you asked was what I would tell people, which to some might sound like you cared. But all you cared about was other people's opinion of you, not me. Not my opinion, because I was no longer of use to you. And during that breakup, you did ask me why I was crying. Though looking back now, you probably just wanted to hear me say I love you one last time. Because why else would I be crying? I don't know if I ever told you, but when you got your third partner, I wish I could stop loving you. Ironically, I pretty much did, in an illusory sort of way, since all my emotions shut down from the pain. And if I were religious, I would have prayed for it, begged for salvation, for freedom from the shackles laced around my limbs, from loving someone who didn't care, who didn't respect me enough to really remind me that I mattered. In the throes of a new relationship, but none of it helped, because I still loved you, and I still do. What's more than you leaving is the amount of damage you did first, convincing me how radical and inclusive you are when you shame anyone else for the things that make them happy. Oh, and what about transparency and how you avoid passivity in conflict? Where did that person go? You started being passive aggressive, or even silent sometimes. You'd exit the conversation in the middle of an argument and yell at me if I tried to do the same. I should have known things weren't okay when I started to thank you for not getting mad and yelling at me, which only made you mad because I was demonizing you. Actually, I was just afraid of you. I was never enough for you. You'd spend a lot of your time complaining about your other partners, and as obvious as it is now, I didn't know you were doing the same about me, because when we were together, I thought we were good. I respected your boundaries. Even when they conflicted with my needs, you didn't like physical contact, something I needed in order to feel safe. And the few times you did let me hold your hand, you complained about it, to your other partner as though I was a burden. But am I not a burden? I am not disposable, and I may not be perfect, but I sure as hell matter. I deserve love. I deserve openness and honesty and trust. Not like that one time you forgot you made a promise to me, then broke it in secrecy and got mad at me later when I was upset with you because you knew I had trust issues. You knew it would upset me, but you didn't care because you don't need permission to do anything, which is true. Except when you truly respect someone, you keep your word, or you don't get upset about it when they feel pained by your betrayal. You said you didn't want to feel like you owed me something, and it's not that you owed me anything, but you sure didn't deserve my trust after that, and that made you angry, though not angry like those few times you called me yelling about how I fucked up. Because one, I was hurt that you didn't want to see me even though we had plans to spend the weekend together. And two, because I wasn't a good partner, aka I wasn't submitting to you and following everything you wanted me to. You claimed I was hurting you, but when I called you out for your blatant hypocrisy, you got even more mad. I was crying at work that day. I was crouched in the alley, listening to you scream at me, bailing my eyes out in pain, trying to maintain my ability to breathe. I didn't think to just hang up because I knew it was disrespectful and I didn't want you to leave me. Later you told me that you like when I cry when we fight because it proves to you that I actually care, and that is not okay. I can show you that I care without being in so much pain that tears stain my face and I struggle to catch a breath when we meet. You taught me about autonomy, and that saved my life when it came to my depression, but then you used it against me to avoid doing anything that didn't benefit you. As I bent over backwards to please you, and of course I didn't think it was an issue when you would change your mind at the last minute, the plans I had looked forward to all day quickly fell apart. Autonomy freed me from my demon's grasp, so how could it not make sense? You had the autonomy to choose what you wanted to do, but you were just being selfish and didn't care about me or my feelings. And as soon as I stopped being the only one putting in any effort, you left me. You used to say that our love was stronger than anything, but that is an abusive tactic. Because if we were struggling, then it must be my fault for not trying enough, for not loving you enough. And when I tried to put up boundaries, because sometimes I needed space too, especially when you hurt me so deeply, you decided to threaten that doing so would make you want to leave me. You often held me on that way: threats, manipulation, fear. The way we choose to love polyamorously, was pretty unhealthy. We didn't set boundaries until we did something that hurt us, and then we knew we needed to, but even then we really didn't, because you didn't respect the ones I said. You told me that I couldn't have any more partners. You didn't even want me to pursue the new interest I had at the time. Thankfully, I didn't submit to you then, because within a few days we broke up, and even though I was sad about it, I immediately felt relief. And regardless of all of this negativity, I truly hope you get help and can find happiness in your life and stop hurting others just because you're in pain. You matter, so do I. But your opinion of me doesn't, because I will love myself exactly for who I am and no longer shame myself for the things you didn't like, because I am more than what you think of me. I am more than how you treated me. And even though I love you, I love myself more and respect myself enough to let it go and to let myself be happy without you in my life. Thank you.